Fairy and Finley here. There is a big difference between gender and sexuality, so let's start with that. Most people think there's only two genders, male and female. Technically there is a third, which is hermaphrodite. A hermaphrodite is someone who is born with both male and female genitalia. And it does happen. It even happens in today's society. The only thing is a lot of parents want a child of one gender or the other, so instead of letting the child grow up and then choose which gender it is assigned to them through surgery after birth. So you have that. And hermaphrodites can occur in more than one way. There are those whose chromosomes don't develop as they ought to, which sends confused signals to parts of the body that creates the wrong types of hormones. So there are men out there who are on estrogen blockers because they don't have the female genitalia, but if they don't have that estrogen blocker, they will start physically growing their mammary glands. And it's the same with women. Testosterone blockers. Because they've got both sets of genders and they want to suppress one over the other. But like I said, most cases, the parents decide the gender after birth and a surgeon goes in and assigns one or the other, which means removing one of the two sexual organs that the child is born with. That's why we don't see them very often. It's because they've already had that happen at an infantile age where they can't really choose. It's the parents going, well, we were hoping for a son and we've got both. Why not? And of course the option is there, and in a lot of ways it's a good thing for the child because without that happening they will be subject to ridicule because it is not the common thing in today's Western society. And the other way that this can occur is sometimes in the womb with twins, one absorbs the other. So almost like Siamese twins, but in reverse. So then you end up with unidentical twins. One dies in the womb, the other one absorbs it, and there's a potential for a little bit of leftover. So there's a lot of cases of Siamese twins out there, or this sort of thing happening where children are born with extra limbs. It's the same sort of concept. So that is your physical, biological gender. That is what gender is. It is physical, it is biological, it is chromosomes. That is the way things are. And before I get smacked in the face for saying that, then you have sexuality. That is a completely different kettle of fish because it has nothing to do with your physical being. Sexuality is what you are attracted to sexually and how you identify sexually. You can identify as non-binary, which is I don't see the difference between male and female, I don't get it, so bam, tomboy. That used to be the term for non-binary. So that's not a new concept of someone going, oh, I'm going to be both. That's a very old concept, and it was called a tomboy at the time. We now have a more formal term for it. And then you have all these other forms of sexuality, and I don't really believe in pigeonholing all of these, because when you start getting into all the different segmented terms and what they mean, a person can easily fit into 4 or 5 of those segmented sexualities. So you only get interested in people who are friends that already have that rapport, who are intelligent, who just so happen to be trans, or you like more than one type of person, so trans, male, female, hermaphrodite, then you'd end up being pretty much in 3 different categories of this whole labeling system. And that gets extremely confusing extremely fast, and I don't subscribe to that because it just does your head in trying to keep up with it all. So that's basically the difference. Gender, physical, biological, sexual, psychological. Because as you're developing and growing as a person, you end up in a lot of situations where you get influenced. And this influence can be subliminal or dominant, and I'm not saying that people aren't born gay, because that's apparently a thing. But that's just it. It's a psychological. Because when it comes to the physical side, it doesn't really matter. That's a driving for procreation or reproduction, so that our species can continue on into the future. So that's why we have people who are straight. I'm not going to say cisgender and all that bullshit, because, throughout history we have homosexuals, which is for both genders. That is a term for gay, and lesbian is homosexual, right? So let's get our technical terms correct for a start. Because gay, I love that word. It is the name of some of my friends in an older demography. Gay means happy. And later on, I'm going to go out and get me a gay time. And if you don't know what that is a really yummy caramel ice cream. So let's just pull the pin on all of this. I'm not debunking it, I'm just saying these are the difference. So psychological is your attraction. It's all of your senses combining to find what is the most pleasing and arousing to you. That is all sensory, that's all to do with the brain. And therefore, sexuality is a mental state of being. Gender is a physical state of being. So can we please just get that right? And the sooner we get that right, the happier everyone will be. And that's it for this little rant. Over and out from Fairy and Finley.